Bonjour mes amis, hi guys. I got into a little ordeal trying to purchase my first Rolex and wanted to share the experience with other first-time buyers as this could be useful information to you. Lately, I finally zeroed in on the Rolex model that meets my taste and wrist size, the Rolex Explorer 2 first generation. Somehow on videos it had never appealed to me all that much, as I thought the polo dial was a bit odd looking, but then I realized there was a perfect black dial version. I know, those have only been out for 3 decades, right? Anyway, I like how the model doesn't scream Rolex right away, but is well revered by Rolex enthusiasts all the same. I value the GMT complication and simply like the styling of the piece. Also, compared to Omega for example, there aren't hundreds of iterations of the watch. You get a choice of 2 dial colors and that's pretty much it. So I quickly looked around on the web to build up my knowledge, understand the small variations, such as the upgrade to solid end links on the bracelet, no holes on the case, which for once is considered a plus by some people. Later models upgrade to the caliber 3186 from the 3185, and in the last variation of the model, the Rolex branding around the rehaut. So I took a stroll in Hong Kong, a city where finding a Rolex is as easy as finding a pack of gum. And sure enough, I was presented with a couple of black dials and one white dial in the first shop I walked into. And I have to say, in person, the white dial looked more attractive. Also, the watches look so much smaller and prettier in person, and you can really understand why Rolex is the #1 name in the business. The watches reek of quality in a compact format. Still, this was a shark type of second-hand shop. The watches came without box or history, and when I tried to wind the watch, it made a loud squeaky noise. It didn't help that the salesman was as pleasant as a prison door. But it was a start. Back on the web, I snooped around eBay and sorting from lowest to highest prices, a second-gen Explorer 2 popped right away at a bizarrely low $3,700 price, mint with box and papers. Already things got complicated in the title where the seller asked for $4,500, argumenting that he's a new seller and is not free to advertise such a high price according to eBay rules. Fair enough. I read on the description, not exactly super professional, but fair information, except that he references the first gen 16570 model and a 40mm size, while this new gen is referenced to 16570 in 42mm size. I'm thinking, good, maybe he has no clue. Indeed, he says he's selling because he's afraid to scratch the watch and prefers Omega watches anyway. Okay. Alright, let's dig into this. I sent him a message asking to authenticate him as the owner of the watch with a picture of the hands at 12 o'clock. He obliges. And so my interest level jumps up a notch. And I press on with my due diligence, asking for more pictures showing the serial numbers on the warranty card and on the watch and better face pictures. This process takes quite a while. He says he's busy with his family all weekend. Fair enough, me too. In the meantime, I had pressed the buy it now button to locking the watch just in case someone else would jump in. But I had no intention of checking out until I had full peace of mind, of course. His next set of pictures looked quite good. The serials match the card, the date looks tight under magnification, the dial and applied markers seem correct, all checks out pretty good. I start talking shipping and payment details. But I'm still bugged by something and keep looking around on blogs for replicas and fake serial numbers and whatnot. I stumble on a Hong Kong blogger and immediately send him the pictures as he had his WhatsApp details openly on the web. He very quickly and kindly takes a look and immediately notices that the warranty card is for a different model of watch. Duh, I could have seen that myself right away. It's a card for a Sea Dweller and yet the serial number found its way on an Explorer 2, not exactly the sort of error Rolex is known to make. The seller's story was he won this watch around 2011, the first year of production of the Explorer 2, second generation, at a company raffle, which is in itself hard to believe. And he says he hasn't won it all that much because it's not his style and he's afraid to scratch it. He tells me that the papers have yellowed out because he's in Taiwan where the weather is humid, and asks me if I care to have them or the box at all, which indicates to me that he's either totally ignorant about watch collecting ABCs or that he's again trying to disguise something. Anyway, the diligent Hong Kong blogger passes the pictures to a Rolex manager who strongly advises against purchasing the watch. So I kindly told the seller that I would still be happy to purchase the watch if he could have Rolex authenticate it, as without having the watch in hand, you cannot just call or visit a shop or service center from Rolex and hope to extricate such information from them. Now, it could well be that someone gave a fake at that company raffle and that this seller is of good faith. His story was so far-fetched and his eBay profile, mainly as a buyer, is so pristine that it could well be the case. Or he is just a very skillful scammer. Or maybe possibly the account was hijacked. I was just relieved not to send a large sum of money possibly in the wind. The seller answered my last message by saying that coincidentally his wife had just told him that maybe he should not sell the watch and instead pass it on to a relative as a, I quote, precious gift. Okay. I just replied, no harm done, please cancel the deal in eBay, and so he did, and that was the end of it. So in just 2 or 3 days, I did my due diligence and learned quite a lot and made some useful contacts in the process. So I see this as a positive experience. Regarding the watch, 42mm would have been too large for me, so I would have bought it to sell it pretty quickly, probably at a decent profit, and get the one I was after from the beginning. So the search continues, but armed with this baggage, I now value serious websites and sellers that thoroughly service the watches, offer years of warranty, and the possibility to trade up should this watch bug keep on eating you. Just make sure that it doesn't eat you down to your last penny by making rookie mistakes, guys. Speak to you in the next one. Bye bye.